The battlefield still smoked. Ash drifted across the valley like gray snow, covering the dead and the broken alike. The war between humans and the Thruxan Empire had raged for years, but this day was different. Both sides had fought to exhaustion. Neither had won. Corpsman Daniel Harker moved carefully among the wreckage, his medpack slung over his shoulder. His orders were simple: save who you can, human or alien. After months of endless slaughter, Command had finally realized compassion might build a bridge where bullets never could. But the other medics whispered about one place he shouldn't go: the blackened ridge where the Thruxan King's honor guard had fallen. Stay away, they said. That's where the King's chosen warriors lie. Anyone who touches them won't live long. Daniel went anyway. He found her near a shattered transport. A Thruxan female warrior, taller than him by a head, her armor scorched and split. Her forearms hung limp, too broken, too clutching a bloodied spear. Her breathing was shallow, ragged. Even half dead, she radiated power. Her scaled skin shimmered faint silver, her crest of spines bent but unbroken. She wasn't just any soldier. She was highborn, one of the King's personal guard. The other humans kept their distance, whispering fearfully, "Touch her, and you'll anger the King himself." Daniel knelt beside her. "She'll die if no one acts." One soldier spat. "Good. Let her." Daniel looked up sharply. "I didn't swear my oath for good riddance." Then, without waiting for permission, he opened his medpack. Her eyes snapped open the moment his hands touched her. Golden, burning, predatory eyes. She hissed, baring sharp teeth, and tried to push herself up. The effort only made her collapse again. Daniel kept his voice calm. "Easy. I'm not here to hurt you." "You human," she rasped. Her accent was thick but clear. "No human touches a King's guard." "Well, guess I'm the exception," he said, already scanning her wounds. Shrapnel had pierced her abdomen. Infection was spreading. She didn't have hours, maybe not even minutes. "You'll die," she whispered, coughing blood, "if you defile me with aid." Daniel met her gaze. "Better me die for trying than you die, because no one did." And with that, he cut into the wound. The work was brutal. He cleaned and stitched while she gritted her teeth, refusing to cry out. Every so often, her clawed hands twitched toward her spear, but she never struck him. Finally, he pressed a patch of biofoam over the wound. "That should hold until we get you stabilized." She studied him in silence, golden eyes narrowing. "Why?" Daniel sat back, wiping blood from his gloves. "Because you're a patient. That's all I need." She let out a low, humorless laugh. "You are either brave or a fool. Both, probably." 2 days later, everything changed. The Thruxan King himself arrived at the ridge, a towering figure clad in obsidian armor, his crest of horns glinting in the sun. His army followed, chanting his name. Daniel stood awkwardly as the king strode forward, his eyes burning like twin suns. "Who dares lay hands upon my chosen?" he thundered. The humans backed away, terrified. But the warrior, her name, Daniel learned, was Vera, spoke before he could. "This human saved me," she declared, voice strong though her body still shook. "Without him, your warrior would be ash." The king's gaze snapped to Daniel. Silence pressed heavy on the valley. "You," the king said at last, voice like stone breaking. "Why did you touch what none dare?" Daniel swallowed, but held his ground. "Because she was dying. And I don't care what flag someone bleeds under. If I can save them, I do." For a long moment, the king said nothing. Then he laughed. A booming, startling sound. "Foolish human," he said, "but perhaps a fool worth keeping alive." From that day forward, everything shifted. The Thruxans allowed Daniel into their camps, not as a prisoner, but as a healer. Warriors who once would have gutted him on sight now lined up for his care. Some muttered thanks. Others only nodded stiffly. But none watched him more closely than Vera. She stayed near, silent but observant. At first, Daniel thought it was suspicion, that she was waiting for him to slip. But gradually he saw it was something else. Respect. One night, as the fires burned low, she sat beside him. "You risked your life for me," she said. He shrugged. "It's what I do." "No," she pressed. "Others would not. Even among your kind." Daniel looked at her, really looked. The scars across her scales, the weight of battles in her eyes. She was fierce, terrifying, yet vulnerable in ways she would never admit. "You're right," he said softly. "But I do it again." Their bond deepened. Weeks passed. Armistice talks began. Daniel continued healing both sides, a bridge in human flesh. And everywhere he went, Vera was at his side. Guardian, companion, maybe more. He taught her how to adjust his medical tools. She taught him Thruxan words, sharp syllables that carried weight. He laughed when she cursed his clumsiness. She laughed when he nearly tripped over his own gear. It was strange, impossible, yet real. One evening, as they walked the edge of camp, she stopped him with a hand on his chest. "My king has spoken," she said quietly. "He says no human should have touched me. And yet he says if any must, it is you." Daniel frowned. "I don't understand." Her golden eyes locked onto his. "He means he would not oppose if I chose you as mate." Daniel's breath caught. "Mate. In our way," she said, voice steady. "To bind life to life. To fight and bleed and endure as one." He stared, stunned. "Vera, I'm human. You're alien," she finished. Then she leaned closer, her voice softer. "And yet, in the moment between death and life, you touched me when none dared. That is what matters." The choice weighed on him. Could he, a human medic and a Thruxan warrior, bound in ways neither world would understand? But when he looked at her, he didn't see an alien. He saw the woman he had saved, the warrior who now stood between him and danger, the one who trusted him when trust was rare. And he realized the truth. He already was hers. The night of the pact came beneath a blood-red moon. The Thruxans gathered, chanting in low, thunderous tones. The king himself stood witness as Vera and Daniel stepped into the circle. She placed her hand, scaled, clawed, yet gentle, against his chest. "You saved my life. Now I give it to you freely." Daniel took her hand, his voice steady. "And I'll keep saving it every day I breathe." The king raised his blade high, then drove it into the earth. "So be it. Let the galaxy know. Where none dared, one dared. And he is no longer merely human. He is one of us." The Thruxans roared in approval. And as Vera leaned close, her forehead against his, Daniel whispered, "Guess I wasn't just a fool after all." She smiled. "No. You were the bravest of men."